Fill the little bar saw for the saw bar, the oil, lubricating that. I also replaced this bar. The top wheel was damaged. That could have been an issue why it was not cutting very well the day before. So I put a new, it looks quite bad, this saw bar also, but and a fresh chain because the other one was quite dull. Needed to add a couple of liters of oil because of the earlier busted hose. Took it back out, let it warm up while heading out. Passing by the forwarder, I could do some measurements to replace the other hose on there that also looks bad because we didn't have a spare on that one, and now it was cutting a whole lot better at least, and it was performing well for a couple of trees pretty much. And I want to see the end of all of them because there is a bit of rot in most of them, and some of them it's okay to just remove a foot or so and it's fresh wood in there. Others are rotten all the way to the very top. It's a little sad to see, but did a couple of measurements and they looked similar to the day before. Maybe they are a little less too long for some reason. Doing quite a lot of control measurements. Better values today, down to 2.5% deviation. Most of that I would guess is that it still makes them a bit too long, but then they qualify for the price list, even if it seems like I can make them a little shorter and still get the better price. But as I said, just a couple of trees and there is something leaking out there again. Took it off the cover and tried to see, but couldn't see anything really big. Back to the garage. I had a couple of hoses here looking a bit rotten. I had my dad heading up, so I had talked to him about what some of the hoses to buy that I wanted to replace to see if that would cure the leak. I took it all the way down to these adapters on the block itself. We have found one of those with the dam in the story on the very hard, made a wooden block as a support to not have the tool twist on me. As I said, one of those adapters we had found earlier that was for sure a leak on there, and these were not touched, so that's why I was suspecting these, or maybe one of the hoses that looked a little rotten. I can give you a little spoiler, I don't think it was either of these, because there will be a bigger leak in the future. We have found it will be in the next video, because I don't think I'll make this one long enough to cover that leak also. So a bunch of new hoses on here, and it's tight in there, getting everything in place and ensuring that the O-rings stay in place where they should be, and getting all the T-fittings and all the hoses on there. Takes a little while. Got the big hoses. This it actually doesn't leak that much removing these big hoses as I was afraid of, so any work in the future on the harvester, I think I'll go ahead and remove it. For some reason I think I've been able to get hydraulic oil or something on the lens, because most of the rest of what I've shot in the close behind this is a bit fuzzy. Yeah, he had got the new hose for the grapple on the forwarder also. And I was back out. Now I had been able to get hold of what's required in length, and the price list length I should get the full price even if it's a centimeter or two under. It will for sure need to be longer than what the list I had received allowed, that it had it set to precisely the length or just 5 over or 5 under the actual price list, and then on top of that it allowed the machine to cut it 3 centimeters shorter than that, and that was incorrect. So I had set an over goal now of 5 centimeter and allow it to actually cut it 2 centimeters short. I have a cutting window of 2 centimeters under the price list and up to, I'm not sure, 5 or 6 over. And I also increased the over goal on the diameter a tiny bit, because I had seen that it might be a tiny bit small on the diameter, so I set a little bit of an over goal on the size also. And a couple of trees more and it was leaking too much again. I could see it actually dripping out when activating functions, so it was taken back to the garage once more. I'm glad we started with an area that's quite close to the garage, and then the forward was up. My dad had loaded this up, and I was stuck with unloading it. And I don't think it was recorded, but we needed to tap the starter motor on this one again to get it started, so the starter motor is also out of it. It will be covered in a future video, maybe by the time I've received some pieces for it, because we're gonna try to repair it. So my logging career is not having a good start whatsoever, so but I will keep updating. Take care out there. Hope anyone watching enjoys it. See my misfortune